What happens to the cash in your business banking account when you sell your business? Now, the annoying answer, but true answer is, well, whatever you negotiate. While that's true, it's not helpful. So we're gonna give you some general guidelines of what typically happens to cash in a business sale. Now, for most of you watching this, you're most likely gonna sell your business through what's called an asset sale. There are two types of sales. There's asset sales and there's stock sales. So in an asset sale, which most small businesses, so typically most sales, really under $10 million are going to fall in the asset sale category, maybe 80-90% of sales below 10 million. By default, in an asset sale, the cash typically stays with you, the seller, and the buyer is expected to bring new cash into the business. So the default should be that you keep the cash. Now, there will be instances where a buyer may ask you to keep cash in the business, but when that happens, you should expect the sale price to go up 1 for 1. So if they ask you to leave $500,000 in the business, then the sale price should go up by $500,000. And the reason a buyer might ask for this is that through the SBA guidelines, which is what most buyers are going to be using to finance their acquisition, it's pretty easy to get up to about $500,000 of working capital. So in most instances, what the buyer is going to do is they're going to use that SBA program to get the working capital they need. But if they need more than that $500,000, that can get trickier. It's harder. Not as many banks will go above that threshold for the working capital. Then they'll need to get creative. So if you have a business that needs $1.5 million of working capital, what we've done in deals that we've done in the past is that, so 500 of that is going to come from the bank through that SBA loan, and then $1 million is going to come from the seller through typically the form of accounts receivable, but could also be cash. And then the price of the business is increased by $1 million. And then generally for larger deals, it's typically expected that cash is going to stay in the business. Those deals are typically done through stock sales. And the expectation there is that what the business actually requires for working capital, what they would call the working capital peg, is going to stay in the business. So if you have excess cash in the business, which most business owners do, most business owners have a lot more cash in their business checking account than their business actually needs to run. You want to dividend out those funds. You want to make sure there's some transparency there so that it doesn't look like you're just trying to take the cash and run. But you need to dividend out the excess funds to you and the other shareholders, and then leave what is actually required as the working capital in the business. But again, ultimately, like the asset sales, what is actually going to happen is whatever is put in the contract. But these are just some guidelines of what we see in the marketplace. So if you need help getting your business ready for sale, or you're ready to sell today, reach out and we can help.